recordings that I need to. Oh, thank you. There's a couple of recordings from last week that I need to share with you, so I will do that as well on the group. Okay. So as we come to our mats this evening, just begin to let go of the body. Take the hands out by the sides, turn the palms upwards, unclench the fists, place your bolster underneath the knees or a little blanket or pillow underneath the head as we begin to arrive. So just slowing everything down, we've made it here. So for the next hour and 15 minutes, it's all about you. Feeling how the body reacts as we consciously breathe in through the nose. Filling the chest, on the belly, completely filling the lungs. And opening the mouth and just let a big sigh out through the mouth. And we'll do this a couple of times. Long breath in. And just observe how quickly we can let go when we get to our mat. The mind might be still racing. We could be brought off into different conversations of the day or the weekend. So whatever is worrying us or niggling at us, let's just place all these thoughts, all these things into a box. And fill that box completely. Take a big deep breath in. And as we exhale, close the lid on that box and send it off into the distance like a hot air balloon in the sky. And watch it slowly drift away. So giving ourselves permission for this time to be completely for ourselves. Right now, everything is okay. And just notice any sounds around you, either in the room you're in or outside. Maybe dogs barking, traffic, people in the room next door talking, clocks ticking, birds. Just bring your full attention and awareness to the sounds as they come and go. Then bring attention to the breath as it arrives into the body. And slowly on the exhale, just allow yourself permission to relax deeper into the mat. Feeling a heaviness in the whole body. the head, face, shoulders, back, hips, legs, arms, hands, unraveling, unwinding, releasing. And perhaps we're working with some niggly aches or pains in the body. Perhaps the head is very busy this evening. Whatever that is, let's just work with it. So don't overdo anything. Just feel our way through the body. Feeling the breath. So connecting the breath with any movement that we can do on the mat. And I invite you now to set a little intention for your practice tonight. And perhaps ask yourself, why am I here? And perhaps ask yourself, how would I like to feel at the end of this practice, the end of this class? And then visualize that as accomplished, that's available in the here and the now. And just notice how that feels in the body. Notice the shift. Count down the breath from 5 to 0. Breathing in and out is one full breath. So starting at 5 and coming all the way down to 0. There's no rush. Stay with the breath, stay with the count. And when you arrive to 0, begin to wiggle the toes gently. Wiggle the fingers gently. Take a big long stretch, hands up over the head, coming into a lovely pencil stretch. Notice where in the body we need to lengthen. We need to go a little bit more ease. And then exhale, release, bring the hands back down by the sides. Turn the toes up towards you. And let's just draw those lovely snow angels, as I call them. Take the hands by the sides. Trickle the little finger off the floor the whole way around and up over your head. As you exhale, trickle the fingers the whole way back around on the floor. Let's do that again. So inhale, bring the arms all the way around us. Lengthening the whole way, feeling how the shoulders are this evening. Exhale, releasing. And then walk the feet closer towards the bottom. And then when you're ready, hug the knees in. And then rock gently from side to side. Wiggle the toes. Move the ankle joints in circles. So bringing some more life into the body. And then crossing over the ankles. So right over left or left over right. Draw the knees into the chest, open the knees wide, take them away, draw them back together. Twice more, into the chest, open wide, coming back together, and again, in and around, and back away, back to the center. Cross the opposite ankle over, and this time push the knees away, open them out, bring them back closer, back together. And again, send the knees away, open out, come back together. Two more. Last one. And then just hug those knees in. Again, rock from side to side, massage out the lower back and the hips. And do that lovely twist. Drop the two knees to the left. Get a nice twist into the torso. Turn the head to the right. You can take your left hand on your left thigh. Turn the ear to the right. Close the eyes and breathe. Notice any smell, any sensations in the body. Come back to the center. Rock from side to side again. And drop the two knees to the right. And twist and look to the left. Nice long inhale and deepen the exhale. Draw the knees back to the center and just place the feet onto the floor, onto the mat. Check that your fingers are just touching your heels. Knees are hip distance apart. Press all 10 toes down into the mat. Take a breath in, bring the hands up to the sky, palms facing each other. And lift those arms up a little bit longer towards the sky. Draw the navel in. And when you're ready to exhale, allow the shoulders to fall down. We'll do that again. So inhale, reach. Exhale, drop. This time, inhale, reach for the sky. And then bring the hands over the head, down towards the floor behind you, and lift those hips up. Press down into all 10 toes. And when you're ready to breathe in, lift the hands back up and slowly release, come down through the spine. So noticing if there's any stiffness or aches or pains in the back. Let's do that again. So inhale, bring the hands up. Exhale, bring the hands behind, lift the hips. Another full breath here, in and out. And on your next exhale, bring the hands back over, slowly, slowly roll down through the spine. And bring the hands back down by the sides. Again, reach the hands towards the ankles, take the shoulders away from the ears. Look to the right side. Work your left hand down towards your foot a little bit more. Look to the left side. Walk your right hand down towards your foot just a little bit more. And then bring the hands back up towards the sky again. Interlace the fingers. And just draw little circles onto the ceiling. And then make those circles a little bit bigger. Just noticing how the shoulders and the upper back feel. Make those circles bigger again. And as big as you can. And then let's go the opposite way. So let's start off really big, going in the opposite direction. Making it a little bit smaller each time. Perhaps you can hear some creaks or pops, which I certainly can this evening. I wasn't expecting them. There we go. Couple more circles. And then settle yourself back to the center. Once more, lift the arms up. Take the shoulders away from the floor. And when you're ready to exhale, just drop them down with a thud. And just stretch the hands up over the head. Interlace the fingers and turn them the opposite way. So bring the palms of the hands away from us. And take a breath in and release the lower back. And then exhale, connect that lovely lower back down into the earth. So the hands are pushed away over our head, arms are straight. Inhale again, release the lower back. And exhale, connect the whole back onto the mat by drawing in the navel. And release the arms. Bring the arms down by our sides. Hug the knees into the chest. And just rock forward and back. A couple of times. And just notice again how the back feels. Keep the chin away from the chest. And cross over the ankles. Hugging the toes, and if we can, come over onto our hands and knees into a tabletop position. And in our tabletop position, just sit all the way back into hare pose. Walk the fingers a little bit more forward. Take the shoulders away from the ears and take a big breath in here. Feeling the back expand as we breathe and wiggle back a little bit more onto the hips. So can we really connect back onto the ankles, but allow the hands to walk forward. Maybe take them a little bit further apart. Notice how that feels. And then move the head. Make space for the neck. And then come back into tabletop position. So pressing down to those hands, knees hip distance apart. Inhaling, lifting the tailbone, looking towards the top of the mat. Exhale, arching. Moving from cat to cow a couple of times. Close your eyes. Notice how you feel this evening. Be gentle. Stay with the breath. And then just draw little circles into the hips, into the back. You can bend the arms, you can do whatever you need to do, just feeling our way. See if there any more space that we need to open up or move into. Just loosening out the back. Maybe circling the bed, doing what feels good. And then moving forward slowly and coming back. And again, just moving forward, lowering the hips slightly. And pushing back into here. And just try that once more. So moving forward to wherever you can. And pushing back. Good. From here, take a breath in. Come on up into onto the knees. Let's do a little moving meditation to warm us up. And exhale, come back down. Inhaling into tabletop. Either come down onto the chest or come into plank and down onto the chest. Take a breath in as we lift the shoulders and chest off the floor. Release and come back into our tabletop, pushing back up. And come back into downward facing dog. Take your time. Flushing everything out with that breath. And walking the legs. One heel down at a time. Bending. And straightening. Come back onto the heel knees. Back into here. When you're ready to lift up, take a breath in. And back to the center. Let's inhale again, come all the way up. Slight little back bend, let the hip flexors come forward. Good, mind the head. Good. And exhale, come back down onto here. Back into our tabletop. And come down onto the chest. Press the hands into the mat and just lift off. We'll bring our elbows forward and come into Sphinx. So slide the elbows forward. The elbows are underneath the shoulders. Spread out the fingers. Place the palms on the mat. Point the toes away. And just draw those shoulders back and down. Lift the chest. Breathe. Feel that lengthening in the belly. And then look over your right shoulder. Take a breath here. And back to the center. Look over the left shoulder. And back to the center. One more breath here. So you can lift and get those back muscles activated. And slowly come back down, push into the mat, lift ourselves back up, and come into a nice downward facing dog. So take a big breath in and out here. Try and open out those shoulders, making space again for the neck, for the ears. So the head is just floating in between the arms. Drop the knees down and take a step forward with the left leg. All the way forward. Good. So you've got one hand, one foot, and then another hand. And from here, just move back and forward. Each time we go forward, see can we bring that right hip flexor a little bit more into the center, tailbones down. Exhale, breathe it away. A little bit closer towards that knee. And again, inhaling, come forward. Check the knee and the ankle are nice and safe. And then press down into that left foot. And see can we raise the hands up over the head. Big breath in here, lengthen. Feel the strength in those arms, and the foot is connecting us down to the earth, stabilizing the body. Exhale, come back down. Curl the back toes under and step back into tabletop, or come all the way back into downward dog. Make any little movements that you need to. Move the arms, move the legs, move the head. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. Just loosening up the body. Come back down onto the knees. Step forward with the opposite, the right leg. Take the right hand across so that you've got a foot, and a hand, and a foot. And then just let yourself lunge into this pose, leaning forward, good. And then walk ourselves back, maybe taking the toe upwards a little bit more, feeling that lovely hamstring. And again, walking forward, spread out the toes on that right foot. And see, can we drop the tailbone, lift the chest a little bit more to get a little bit of a flatter back here. Breathe into it. Then on the next breath, press down into that right foot, reach for the sky. Breathing, open the body. Feel the power of those hands lifting upwards and the foot pressing down, really stabilizing our body here. Good. Slowly bring the hands back down. Step back into tabletop or step back into downward dog. And then if you're not in downward dog, join us in downward facing dog and twist both feet to the left. Look under the right armpit. Feel that lovely openness in the right side of the body. And then come back to the center. Twist both feet to the right. Look under the left. Come on back to the center. Come right up onto your tippy toes. And slowly back down onto the knees. Sit back into hero pose. Just take a moment here. Knees are still hip distance apart. Relax the arms out by the sides, opening that chest. Allow the crown of the head to lift a fraction taller up towards the sky. Drop that right ear to the right shoulder. Back to the center. Left ear to the left shoulder. Back to the center. Drop the chin and the head, look down. Back to the center and then look up. And back to the center. Just roll the head. Drop the chin to the chest. Roll the left ear to the left shoulder. Back to the center. Right ear to the right shoulder. And back twice more. And then come back to your center. Notice that center in the body, the heart, the forehead, the third eye, the crown of the head. And when you're ready, just reach the hands out by the sides as far as we can go. Drop the tailbone down. Open those arms nice and wide. Open the fingers. Reach up to the sky, a little bit taller. Place the right hand down and lean up and over. Maybe you can come down onto your elbow. Maybe it's just enough to come onto the hand. So do what you can, but keep that ear close to the arm. So don't let the head go too far. Drop that hand down in front of you and just draw a big semicircle the whole way around along the floor and come back to the center. Good. Take the left hand onto the mat. Inhale, bring the right arm up. Visualize lengthening through both sides of the body as we lean up and over. Where's our breath? Perhaps we can bring the elbow a bit closer to the floor, but keep that right hip down. Good, breathe. And release and come all the way back. Good. Slide one hand across the body and look over your right shoulder. So really get that twist. Now see, can you sit upright instead of leaning over? Sit up nice and tall and then start to create that twist. So the shoulders are even. Good. Can we lengthen upwards a little bit? Come back to the center, notice the difference. Take the opposite hand across the body. So the right arm across the body, left hand behind. Sit up nice and tall, get those back muscles working. Crown of the head is lifting upwards. And just begin to look over that left shoulder. Keep twisting as we breathe in. Lengthen, and as we exhale, go a little bit deeper. And gently come back to the center. Good. Do a little counter twist. Remember, if the ankles or the feet are tight here, you can also do this stretched out with the legs out in front. If you want to try it, please do. So let's sit up nice and tall. If the legs are very tight, place a little pillow or a rolled up blanket underneath the knees. Lift the flesh from the bottom. So lift the flesh back behind us. Feel the sit bones underneath. Take the hands out by the sides. It's a lot harder to do this with the legs out straight if the legs are tight. And take that hand across the body again. So the left arm goes across the body. And let that left foot go forward slightly. And begin to twist. So we should be able to go a little bit deeper this time. As we exhale, start to look around the corner, but be careful of the neck. And release and come back. Take the hands up over the head. Take a big inhale. And just exhale, lean forward. Come straight down towards the shins. Draw the belly button in. Let the hands come down to the feet or the shins. And just look down towards the floor. Don't let the head drop too far. Take a hold of the feet if you can. Toes are still pointing upwards. And slowly come back. Let's do the other side. So twisting to the left. Take the right arm across the body. Right leg will go a little bit longer. That's okay. Twist from the belly, the chest. Last thing to go is the head. So our left arm is close enough to the body that we can use it to anchor ourselves and lift ourselves up. So really bring back that left shoulder and turn that torso so the right shoulder and the left shoulder are in line. And release, come back to the center, take your breath in, reach the hands up to the sky, hug the 2 feet together, 2 legs together, reach, 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 draw your navel in and lean forward. So stretch out towards me, lean forward, and then slowly take the shins or the ankles, let the head drop slightly and come down towards the knees. Take 2 more breaths here. And coming back up. Let's open the legs out really wide. Nice wide position here, opening out those legs, toes facing upwards. So get as wide as you can. Then we're just going to move from side to side. So lengthen into this whole side of the body. Begin to slide to one side and then slide to the other. And each time we go to one side, draw that shoulder back so that we can reach and look up towards the sky. Have the chest nice and open. So take that Left hand up over your head, look up. Take that right hand down to the inside of that leg and reach and open. And then see, can you bring that hand a little bit further over the head? Take another big deep breath here. And come all the way back up. Good. Let's just do a little twist over to that right leg. So turn the body so that the chest is in line with the knee and the foot. So keep turning ourselves around. And then just walk forward down towards that right leg. So can you take that right shin, draw that navel in, or maybe you can take that right foot, and then lift the chest and just look forward, keeping a hold of whatever we have in our hands here, our shin, our knee, our ankle. And then as we exhale, so can we lower down a little bit more. Walking the hands back in, coming back to the center. Good. Let's take the left hand down onto the left leg. Take a breath in, bring the right hand up over the head. So draw back that right shoulder to begin with. You'll feel this right across the back. And then look up to that right hand. Maybe that's as far as we want to go today. Or perhaps we want to go a little bit deeper. Take a hold of that foot. Reach the hand up over the head, and you really feel this into the hamstring. But try not to let that body turn around. Let's stay to the side. And then reach back up to come back around. Good. Walk your hands around to that left leg and use your hands to turn your body so that your chest is in line with the knee and the foot. It's quite difficult to do because your whole body wants to turn back around to the front. So use your hands on the floor and inhale, lengthen upwards. And as you exhale, walk the hands down equally towards that shin or that ankle. And keep that right hip, right sit bone, buttock down onto the mat. And then lengthen through the front of the body. So can we reach towards that foot or down towards that knee? Making space in the back to allow us to breathe. And then walk those hands back in. Well done. Come on to a little cushion. We're just going to do some work for those hips. So bring yourself up onto something. It'll be a little bit easier. Then walk the bottom forward on the cushion so that we can really feel the flesh at the back has been lifted and we're almost falling off this cushion. And just take your hands to your thighs. And then we're going to draw little circles. So gently coming the whole way around, leaning forward, out to the side and coming to the back. And then let's go the other way. So try not to drop the head because we feel a pinching in the lower back. So lead with the chest. Coming around and down. Good. Take the hands onto the floor in front. So can you open the legs a little bit wider now because we're starting to really open up the inner thighs. Bring the hands onto the floor. Lengthen through the front of the body. So we're sitting nice and tall. Toes are pointing upwards. And we're just going to walk slightly forward. Just a little bit at a time. And then take the hands and the arms, stretch them out. So your tailbone is pointing out behind you. And your chest is lifted, your heart is lifted, your head is still in line with your spine. So don't let the head fall down here. Keep the head in line with the spine. And then maybe we can come onto the elbows. Or maybe it might be easier to take a hold of the big toes and draw ourselves down towards the floor. So do whatever you can. We're going to stay here for 3 long breaths. As we breathe, just allow the body to open. Last big breath. Walk the hands back in and help the hands and legs. Bring the hands underneath the legs, bend the knees, bring the legs back together. Draw the soles of the feet together and just rock from side to side. Let's open up those hips this evening. Good. Moving from side to side. And then place our thumbs on the insides of the feet. And just let the knees bounce up and down very gently. And then lift ourselves upwards. So the crown of the head is pointing upwards. Open out the feet if you can, a little bit more. Use the elbows onto the inner thighs. And draw the navel in towards the spine. Place a little bit of energy, a little bit of force onto the elbows, onto the thighs. One more breath here. And release. Take the hands underneath the knees. Slowly come back in. Walk the feet forward. Take them apart. Hands onto the floor. Lift the chest. And just rock from side to side. Just notice how nice that feels. And shake out those legs. Good. Shake, 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 shake. Okay. Sitting up nice and tall on our mats once more. Bend in the knees. Take the knees in hip distance apart. Palms of the hands are facing forward. And we're just going to lift that chest. Lift ourselves up as best we can. Take a breath in and lift those hips. Draw the head back. Lifting those hips so knees are in line with the shoulders. Press down into the hands. Slowly come back down onto your sit bones. Hug your knees in. And see, can you raise the feet off the floor? Good. Maybe you can take your hands underneath the knees. Stretch those legs out in front. Good. So really try and sit up on the sit bones, not to be curling right down onto the back. Place the feet back down. We're going to do this once more. Hands, press them in underneath the shoulders. Lift ourselves up and bring those hips right up in line with those shoulders. Lengthen into the neck. And breathe. Slowly come back down. Draw the navel in, hug the knees in and lift. And perhaps this time take the arms out by the sides, if we can. Keep the knees bent. Stay with the breath. Cross over the ankles, hug the feet in, and come to a nice cross-legged seated position. Release the hands, lengthen through the spine. Close the eyes for a moment. Notice the energy in the body. One more breath. Press the hands down onto the mat, roll over onto the knees and come back into our lovely tabletop position. And then just place the elbows down where the hands are. And just lean back slightly. Let the head come down to the floor. And come back onto the elbows, press back up onto the hands. And let's come over onto our right side. So come down onto your right elbow, right hand is pointing forward. And we're going to twist the body and bring the 2 feet together onto our side. Now we can do this, there's 3 different ways of doing this. We can come onto our elbow and our knee and come here. Or let's try and stretch out both legs, lift those hips and raise that elbow and that arm up to the sky. Keep breathing. Inhale, look up. Exhale, just you can slide that hand underneath our armpit and inhale, come back up again. Well done. Exhale, slide that hand once more, down we go. And inhale, reach it up. If you want to raise that top leg, you can do. 3, 2, 1. Drop the leg, drop the hip, and roll onto the back. Take a moment here, and then we'll try the other side. If you're feeling really strong and fit tonight, you can do this on a straight arm, or you can make it easier by coming onto the elbow. Maybe just rock from side to side, wherever the body needs a little bit of a massage or tension. And then when you're ready, just roll over onto the other side. So elbows underneath the shoulder, hand is facing down. To make it easier, you can come onto your knee and then raise that right arm. Draw the navel in, lift those hips, or if you prefer, draw the 2 feet together, lift and look upwards. Brilliant. Stretch those upper fingers. Inhale, look up. Exhale, underneath. Swoop the hand underneath. Inhale, look up. Exhale, underneath. Last one, inhale, look up. Perhaps raise the top leg. Slowly bring the feet together, bend the knees, come down onto the hips, and roll over onto the back. Well done. Again, just move from side to side. Take the hands out nice and wide if you wish. It's quite nice. Arms outstretched, palms facing up. And just drop the 2 knees to the left. Come back to the center. Drop the 2 knees to the right. Come back to the center. Notice the back is firm onto the mat. The arms are out wide. Drop the 2 knees to the left. Connect that right shoulder down into the mat. And see, can you straighten out that right leg? Straight out as far away from you as possible. Perhaps you can reach and take a hold of that toe. So right toe is in the left hand. Connect that right shoulder back down. And then bend that right knee, join the left knee, and then bring the two knees back to the center. Gently rock from side to side. And when you're ready, bring the two knees to the right. First of all, check in with that left shoulder. Keep it snug on the floor. So two knees to the right. And then see, can you stretch out that left leg? And perhaps reach and see, can you take that toe? Keeping both shoulders down onto the earth. Big breath. Bend that left knee, come back to the center. And open the feet out as wide as your mat. Drop the two knees to the left. Take the left foot and see, can you bring it on top of the right knee? Let the body relax here. It might be enough just to have that left knee in towards the floor. So again, do what you can. And then stretch and bring the hands up over the head. Close your eyes. And feel that lovely openness in the body. One more breath here. Release the left foot and bring the two knees back to the center and just rock from side to side. So feel that lower back. And then drop both knees to the right. Take your hands down again towards your legs. Lift your right foot on top of your left knee if you can. If not, that's okay. Just take a breath for a moment to notice how that feels. The back, the thigh, legs. There shouldn't be any pinching in the knees. So if there is, just release the top foot. And then perhaps take the hands over the head. Lengthen to the side of the body and then let the arms relax onto the floor if you can. Release, bring the hands back down. Take the right foot off the left knee and wiggle yourself back onto your back. Okay, for our next pose, we're going to need perhaps a pillow, maybe a blanket, but we're going to come into the wall. So take your hip nice and close to the wall. We're going to be here for a little while. Really lovely pose to do, legs up the wall. So we're going to wiggle ourselves around and bring those legs all the way up the wall. So your bottom is as close to the wall as you can get. And we've done a nice stretch into the back of the hamstrings and the legs, so it should feel a little bit more open. Now you can put a pillow underneath your head, but just for a moment before we begin, I'd just like you to do that window wipers, as we call it. So let's take the legs to the right, slide them to the right, bring them back to the center. Slide the legs to the left. Bring them back to the center. Let's do that once more. So we come back to the center, and this time let's see, can we open the legs nice and wide, like what we did when we were seated. So bring the toes back towards you. Good. Open the legs nice and wide as you can. And just breathe here. So you feel that on the inner thigh. And you could stay here for a lot longer. So if you're feeling this is a good stretch, do come back to it later or tomorrow. So really letting those legs open up. So just close the eyes, take the hands down by the sides for a moment. And soften any tension in the legs. Draw the chin down towards the chest. So the nice long back of the neck. Three more full long breaths. See if you can let go of the back. If you're holding any tension in the back, just sigh it out with the exhale. Notice if you're clenching your hands, your jaw. Bring a little bit more softness, ease into this part. Notice how you feel. And then take the hands just to above the knees and help the legs back to the center. Good. Place the feet onto the wall, bend your knees, and take either a cushion or a rolled up blanket. And all you're going to do is walk your feet gently an inch or two up the wall, press into the feet, lift the back, and then place the pillow underneath the lower back, and then straighten out the legs. Take the hands out by the sides. It's very safe to place a pillow under the head. You can have the feet together or slightly apart, whatever feels good. Really super, super beneficial pose. Legs up the wall. So the full back is supported. The legs have nothing to do. And fresh blood coming down to the hips. Lengthening into the back and into the neck. You can feel it nice and long. And then just let the arms come out by the sides. So you can close the eyes. Relax the jaw. And we're going to spend 5 minutes here. So nothing to do and nowhere to go. Just bringing our awareness to the breath. Stay with the breath. This is a lovely pose to do if you find yourself difficult going to sleep or having a good night's sleep. Great pose for stress relief, lots of benefits. So you can do it lying on the bed with the legs of the headboard or top of the bed. And you can do it any time of day. The main thing is make sure that you're not going to be disturbed so that you don't have to jump up quickly, because it's important that you spend a couple of minutes on your side when you come out of this. A great pose to do going to bed. So remember, you can always come back to this. So for now, just wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. And then bend the knees slightly and press the feet onto the wall. Lift up the hips and remove whatever it is you have under your lower back. And just place the lower back down onto the floor, onto the mat, and straighten out the legs for a moment. And then when you're ready, bend your knees and just roll onto one side. Take the pillow underneath your head and stay lying down. If you don't have a pillow near you, just use your arm and place it underneath your head. And take a moment on your side. You can close the eyes again. Go back to the intention that you set at the start of the class. Notice how your breath has become slower and deeper. And always take 5 minutes or so on your side. And then bring your awareness back into the fingers, into the toes. Press down with that hand at the front of your chest. And slowly bring yourselves back up to a seated position. And if you can, just for a moment, come back onto your cushion, leaning against a wall or something that you can feel supported. And just take a moment here, come to a cross-leg position. Close the eyes. Allow the back to feel supported against a wall or a bed or something. And just give yourself a couple of minutes to be quiet, to feel at peace. Bring your hands together at your heart center. Take the palms together or just slightly apart, fingers touching. And think of all those things that you're most grateful for. And connect back to that breath. Breathing in deeply. And releasing and exhaling for longer. And as we begin to close off our class, we bow our heads to each other, to our hearts, and to Mother Earth, and we say namaste. Namaste.